3,
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pick Six. Wonderful weekend we had. The past couple days have been very exciting with the NFL Draft closing up. People finally closing up what they believe is a phenomenal start to an off season. 31 general managers convincing their fan bases that they themselves had the best draft that they could possibly have had. I'm joined by my good friend Jay Stu. James, how are you, my friend?
Doing great, doing great.
Did you get a chance to see any of the draft? I know you were working, you were busy, but
I did. Yeah, I got to catch a little bit of it. So it was pretty good. Pretty excited. All the teams now are have the next great superstar. So,
bunch of teams taking chances on quarterbacks and
exactly.
No names.
Are all the GMs out there?
31. So we're missing one GM. There's one GM, as far as I'm aware. There's only one that is not trying to convince his fan base that he had a good draft. A, because he didn't make the picks, and B, because he got fired. Yes.
Who is that?
The Buffalo Bills general manager Doug Whaley has been relieved of his duties, and he is looking for a new job. Now, I guess we could get right into that right off the bat. But so the Bills go through the draft process,
Yep.
and then they fire the general manager, and it's presumably going to continue on to fire the scouting staff and some of the other positions there.
It's a good time to do it after the draft.
Right after the draft. I mean, that's the thing. People are like, well, why didn't they do it months ago? Here's the deal. You fire the general manager, you fire your scouting people. You're not getting any money for them.
Right.
You're not getting anything out of them, no value. And then they're going to take their talents and their work to another franchise, and it's going to end up biting you in the butt.
It's crazy, too, because it's also a situation where, whoever the new GM is given a coach as opposed to coming in and bringing his own.
Right.
So it's going to be one of those who's got the real power here.
And I don't know if I like the idea of a coach making all the picks in a draft.
Right.
I mean, he just came in a couple months ago, and he's coming out and drafting players, and then we're just putting the future of the franchise in his hands right off the bat.
He's also going to look short term. I mean, he's going to look to make his team better now.
Immediately, right. So I don't know. He looked at what the scouts had on their
Right.
board, and he picked off their board. So it's not like he was just going out on a limb, Chip Kelly style, and running the organization. He had people that he had to pick from, but, of course, he's the coach. His word does carry a lot of weight. So, they let him make the ultimate selection.
Yeah.
So whatever you got to do for that. They made some moves, too, moving up and moving down in the draft to gain picks. And I don't know if that had if general manager Doug Whaley had anything to do with that. I'm sure he's the one answering the phone calls, but I don't know if he's just the messenger in that case. So interesting nonetheless.
That's kind of cold-blooded, too, because they make him go through the draft with no power.
And
so basically he can't get onto another team.
He's like the face. And then it's like Bob Ross, like watching somebody else paint. Like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't, it's insane. It doesn't make sense. But, yes, do you have any other immediate takeaways from the draft? I mean, I was impressed with some teams, and some teams I think made some bad picks, but –
I was pretty happy that the Browns didn't take a quarterback, number one.
Yes.
I mean, I know
that would have been a total Browns
I know there
move.
wasn't a lot of talk about it happening, but I'm just happy that they didn't.
There was a slight possibility there with Trubisky being from Ohio.
Right.
And the
So that's what
opportunity to
me.
draft a guy who was from your hometown. So I'm glad they didn't as well. It'd be stupid to pass up on Myles Garrett.
They need to worry about everything else because they've been worrying about quarterback for too long.
Forever.
It has not been working.
It's funny watching when ESPN had their little preview of the Cleveland Browns' first overall pick. And they showed how many quarterbacks they had drafted in the last 20 years. Oh, my gosh. So it was just hilarious. Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns and their draft. I think they had the best draft out of anybody.
Yep.
And it's amazing to say, and yes, I'm happy for Cleveland. I'm happy for the organization. They didn't screw this one up.
Right.
At least so far.
From
what we know. This could go bad very quickly.
Right.
Myles Garrett, first overall, a surefire, great defensive player. And then they picked Deshaun Kaiser, who has the potential to be their number one guy moving forward. I don't think he'll be that guy right off the bat. But
and you also get Jabril Peppers, who didn't fall out of the first round.
He didn't.
So,
he didn't. It was close. So I was proved wrong. He stayed in the first round, and the Browns, a typical organization, take a chance on him.
But I guess that's after the whole Josh Gordon thing. Maybe they should have thought it twice.
That's true.
But I mean, you get 2 athletes on defense. I mean, that's when you're in the position that the Browns are in. You need to build around athletes. Figure the rest out later. I mean, it's almost when you're that bad, you can't really draft for need or by position. You just draft the best available player.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal though with Jabril Peppers, and this is the Cleveland Browns draft can go bad very quickly if DeShone Kizer doesn't pan out, which is a possibility. And then looking at Jabril Peppers as a project, because that's what he is. He's a project. He doesn't have a position yet. They have a position in mind that they're going to try and train him for. But how good have the Cleveland Browns been in coaching people and training people for certain positions?
Right.
So people are talking about the quarterback coach in Cleveland for DeShone Kizer and how he may help them. And I'm sitting over here like, listen, man, a quarterback coach can only teach so much. So if there's something not there, I mean, until we see DeShone Kizer go out in the field and start throwing 50-yard bombs or whatever, I'm not going to say that it's a phenomenal draft, but it's a smart draft nonetheless. Jabril Peppers, I mean, here's the deal with projects. We've seen it in players in the past with Tim Tebow, with all sorts of different players who come in. They have freak athletic talents and they have all these abilities, and we're not sure what position they may play, but that they can play.
I think the major difference though between like him and say Tebow, one is you're talking about a defensive player, and at the end of the day, for a defensive player, get to the ball. So if the guy's going to get to the ball, we'll find a place for him. He's also not, a quarterback or a guy who's set. Where Tebow is set, I'm playing quarterback.
Right.
He says, I'm wherever you want me. So they're gonna find the best situation for him to basically be a playmaker.
Yeah, he's gonna end up playing, I think, either cornerback or safety. Probably safety, from what I'm hearing.
Probably end up in some kind of a nickel format.
And I'm not saying he's not going to be a good player. He has a lot more potential to stay in the league than Tim Tebow did, for sure, as a project player. But good for the Browns. I think they're probably my best draft. And like I said, it could be a coin flip here. If Jabril Peppers doesn't pan out and DeShone Kizer doesn't pan out, then you just have Myles Garrett, who was the only guaranteed, I think, pick there. So, but we shall see. We shall see. The Cleveland Browns are still the Browns unless something else happens, as far as I'm concerned. So.
Well, I mean, we go from the Browns right down to our very next pick. the controversy of the draft.
Are we going to talk about that?
I mean,
we have to, right?
As a Packer fan, I would love to talk about it.
All right, let's go for it. Break it out, man. Let's hit it.
Well,
let's hit it.
Mitch Trubisky.
All right.
I mean,
this is hilarious to me. This whole pick is hilarious.
It's a total. It's actually not a Bears move. It would kind of caught me off guard because it's like you're giving this up to move up one spot.
A lot
to move up one spot.
They gave up 4 picks to move up one spot.
Right. And I don't think the 49ers are going to take them anyway.
They weren't. So they absolutely were there. They said the 49ers thought that the Bears were going to draft somebody else.
Yeah. They gave him the okie doke.
Yeah. They didn't even know that they didn't even know that they were going to. Yeah. I mean, to give up as much as they did to move up one spot for a team that wasn't even going to draft your guy.
That's the crazy part about it. I mean, the guy has a good arm, but it just there's something about these, smaller school quarterbacks. And I mean, North Carolina's not a small school, but it's not a powerhouse in football.
He only had 13 starts.
Right.
So we don't even know as a sample size. We don't even know what we're going to get from him. We have no idea. It'd be like drafting Jimmy Garoppolo off of like 8 starts. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. We don't know what Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be like once Tom Brady's gone. No one knows. So
that's the crazy thing about it. And how do you think Mike Glennon's feeling?
Oh, he feels terrible. He's furious about it. He's raving.
Didn't they want him at the draft party too? Like,
yeah,
he's sitting there like, wait a minute.
They invited him to the draft party, and then he's like, "Time out. What am I doing here?"
You guys just bring me here to make a fool of me?
He was embarrassed. He was embarrassed that happened. And
how could you not be?
The Bears possibly made the worst move in franchise history. If Mitch Trubisky pans out, it's going to look like the best move in franchise history. But they gave up so much to move up one spot for a team that wasn't even going to draft their guys. So it's hilarious to me. It's ridiculous is what it is.
The 49ers finally, in the last couple of years, have done something right. They win next year because of this. Like,
oh, my God.
Whatever their record is doesn't matter. They got the Bears. They beat the Bears.
They beat the Bears. The 49ers are like, we'll take like a third to move down one spot. And the Bears are like, wait, how about we give you a first, a third, a fourth, and a seventh? Just saying. The 49ers are like, what?
Like, wait a minute. Is this? Just say yes. Just say.
Are they serious? Do they mean this? Yeah, we'll take it. Blockbuster deal. Oh my God.
But I mean, Trubisky has a chance at being good. I mean, he too, though, like you said, 13 starts, so it's not a huge sample size. He's got a nice arm, but I mean, the fan base, rightly so, is not happy.
No.
I mean, you're hearing everyone saying, "Oh, okay, next Jay Cutler, this and that," but I mean, next Jay Cutler is not a good thing. So
it's good for you.
Yeah.
It's good for you guys.
But it's crazy the amount of movement they made for that for him.
And to pay Mike Glennon a ton of money in free agency too. I mean, Mike Glennon's not going to be their future quarterback, and the franchise has to know that. So the fact that the fans are upset, like I understand they should be upset for how much the Bears gave up, but they needed to draft a quarterback.
I mean,
what do they have
they
wanted
for weapens? Jeffrey's gone.
Yeah, everyone's gone.
So you got Kevin White, who's injured every year, and Eddie Royal.
Yeah.
I mean,
good luck.
Okay.
Just ridiculous. Totally absurd. I guess we can move right into this then. Let's go over, since we're talking quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the quarterbacks that were drafted and the teams that they're on now and what their future may hold. So I have we'll go through the top five, I think, the first five that were drafted. So, of course, we'll start with Mitch Trubisky out of North Carolina, drafted second overall by the Chicago Bears. What do you see his future being like in Chicago?
I mean, I think it's going to be a rocky start. It's it's also one of those situations where he's going to walk into a locker room that I don't know necessarily is going to welcome him with open arms as like this number 2
Mike
pick.
Glennon's going to be pissed.
I mean, he's not going to get very much tutelage. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
Mike just looks over, they're paying me $18 million, man.
Yeah.
You know
Sit down, hold my clipboard.
Hold
Yeah, I know I'm not that good.
Browns are like,
okay.
The Browns are like, we made the best move in franchise history. The Bears are like, hold my beer. We'll give you 4 picks just to move up 1. I don't know.
It's going to be a rocky start.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. We'll see what he eventually turns into be. I mean, he's like I said, he's got a good arm, but such a small sample size.
Small sample size, 13 games. It's the only season he started down there, and yeah, I mean, people drool over the idea of the thought of having a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it's
I can't blame him for taking
the search
a
for a franchise quarterback almost cripples franchises more than it helps them.
I would have waited, and if the Niners picked Mitch Trubisky, I would have just gotten a different guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? They gave up way too much to just move up one spot. All right, let's talk about the second quarterback that was picked in the draft, 10th overall by Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes II out of Texas Tech. Now, Kansas City, they have Alex Smith. We're not sure how long he's going to be there, but Patrick Mahomes most likely sitting behind Alex Smith while he's down there. What do you think about Patrick Mahomes getting chosen by the Kansas City Chiefs?
I don't know much about how he'll turn out. I mean, but that being said, he's in a good situation because, like you said, Alex Smith is there. I don't think he's gonna supplant Alex Smith or anything like that.
No.
Plus, you've got a coach who has worked with good quarterbacks, made quarterbacks good.
Yeah, Andy Reid's got a long track record of developing young quarterbacks.
And it's an offense where, at least at this point, an offense where they're not slinging the ball around. So he's going to have time to work into this one as opposed to like Andrew Luck coming out and having to play day one and just getting his brains beat out. That's not going to be the situation for him.
You ever seen any of the videos, like the mic'd up of Andrew Luck, where like he gets tackled, like he just gets totally wrecked by a guy, and he goes, "Nice tackle, man." Yeah. And he's like sincere about it, and like the guy's tackling him is like, "What did you just say? Yeah. Did you just say thank you?" I'm like, what? Andrew Luck, just a stand-up guy, man. It's awesome. It's so great. All right, let's move into the third quarterback that was picked in the draft at 12th overall, just 2 picks after Patrick Mahomes. Deshaun Watson, the guy that I had my eye on out
Yeah.
of Clemson, going to the Houston Texans. So Cleveland took Brock Osweiler, so of course the Houston Texans needed to do something down there.
Yeah.
So my question is, does Deshaun Watson start day one, and will that affect his career and his development moving forward? It has to, right?
I mean, if you're the Texans, though, do you look at this and say, we remember what we did to David Carr?
Yeah.
We put him in a situation where he just got obliterated and pretty much ruined his career.
I mean, if there's any way to ruin a career, aside from blowing out your knee.
Right. But Deshaun Watson is a little more mobile. He's 6'2", 221. He's a sizable guy.
He went to back-to-back NCAA championships.
Right, and that's the thing, too. He's a winner. That to me, he is the one quarterback that you look and say, okay, this guy's a winner. We'll see how it translates to the NFL. But I kind of put most of my stock in that guy as far as the quarterbacks go.
I mean, for sure. That's why I had my eye on him the entire offseason so far up to the draft, and I didn't know where he was going to go. Right. But I mean, good for Houston. I hope he pans out, and I'm definitely going to be. I mean, out of all the quarterbacks here, he's the one that I got my eye on.
I mean, I'm sure Tom Savage will probably still start, but
I mean,
that's not long term.
Right. No, I'm not investing in Tom Savage. Okay, the next quarterback that was drafted, 52nd overall, round 2, by none other the Cleveland Browns, DeShone Kizer out of Notre Dame. Drafting Notre Dame quarterbacks. Not sure how I feel about it, but
Brady Quinn was
Yep. So the four, they've selected 4 times, and the four they selected in the first round since 1999. Some names might be familiar. Tim Couch, standout athlete. Brady Quinn, Brandon Whedon, and none other than Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
So those are the 4 quarterbacks they've drafted in the first round since 1999.
Maybe they just waiting around will help the situation.
So does DeShone Kizer come out and start right away in Cleveland?
Me personally, I wouldn't.
It's got to be a quarterback battle
right.
at least.
I mean, one he's a second round pick, so you don't just walk in. It's not like they picked him, second overall.
First overall?
Yeah, first overall, I guess. But again, he's 6'4", 233, a big guy, relatively mobile. He's gonna have weapons. As far as Corey Coleman, we'll see what Josh Gordon if he.
Is he ever gonna come back? I'd take him. The Bills need receivers.
I would take
I'd
him. Yeah,
I could care less if he's smoking weed. Just get out on the field.
He also
catch
can't
some
cost
balls.
much at this point.
Yeah,
so,
no, his value has definitely dropped for sure, 100%. I'm looking at these other quarterbacks that were drafted. There's a couple. Let's see. I'll go through a couple of them really quick. So after DeShone Kizer, it drops off a little bit in round 3. Davis Webb goes to the Giants. He's going to sit behind Eli Manning, of course. And the Giants also signed Geno Smith to a 1-year deal, and they still have Ryan Nassib as well. Safe to say Geno Smith and Ryan Nassib will not be starting quarterbacks.
Yep.
But Davis Webb, certainly an investment to put behind Eli Manning, who's now 36 years old. So he'll have time to sit there
Another
and
big
at least
guy.
grow a little bit. Yeah.
6'5", 229.
Don't know too much about this guy who goes to San Francisco. I'm surprised San Francisco waited till the 3rd round to draft a quarterback. C.J. Beathard out of Iowa.
Yeah.
So I mean, not sure what to think about that. That's basically a flip of a coin.
Right.
You got to take a chance
at
on a
this
guy.
point, when you're getting this late in the rounds, you're just kind of
round 3.
I don't think you're looking
104th
for a guy
overall.
to come in and start day one. You're looking for a project. You're looking for a guy that you can build up.
Yep. And that's what I'm kind of seeing in these other quarterbacks here. I mean, in the 4th round, another team that is investing in a quarterback to sit behind their current guy, who's 35 years old, Ben Roethlisberger of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Joshua Dobbs out of Tennessee. So another guy, backup. Landry Jones is down there still. So I mean, these are all.
And they got to figure out what they want to do with Landry Jones, because I mean,
Yeah.
you've already got Roethlisberger, talking about retirement. So
Yeah.
they
you have to think about it.
Right. They're in a situation where they got to start really and that's kind of why I was surprised they waited this long, unless they have that much faith in Landry Jones.
I don't know if I'd put that much faith in Landry Jones, but I mean, he played okay when
Right.
Roethlisberger was out. But
I mean, that's where you're gonna rely on Le'Veon, and you're gonna rely on
Antonio Brown.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of. I mean, you look at the elite quarterbacks in the league right now, and elite can be loosely used in some of these. So like Eli Manning,
Right.
Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, you can throw in there. I mean, these are a lot of teams who have had great years in the last 15, 20 years. And they need to start thinking about what they're going to do. I mean, Drew Brees is up there now too. I mean, what are you going to do once these guys do retire? They're on the back end of their career,
For sure.
and the NFL is going to be, it's going to change the entire look and feel of the league because these guys are all going to retire around the same time. So.
And there's always that, there's like that year or two of uncertainty when like the guys that like you and I have been watching for 10 years now.
Yeah.
We don't remember remember seeing a lot of quarterbacks before and after. So it's like Eli Manning.
I don't remember watching Joe Montana. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
So when these guys go away, it's like the changing of the guard is kind of shocking. So that's where and I'm probably guilty of this too, but you look at a lot of these young quarterbacks and you're like, why are they drafting these guys? You've got Eli, but like you said,
you need to think about it. I mean, Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for a couple of years, and look how he turned out. He turned out great. So who would have thought the Packers could go from Hall of Fame quarterback to Hall of Fame quarterback?
I mean,
don't
I'm okay
with it. Did Ted Thompson make that pick? Was he the general manager at that point?
For Aaron, I believe so, yes.
Baxter? Did Ted Thompson make that pick? How long has Ted Thompson been around? You guys have been complaining about him since I moved out here.
I mean,
that's ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure he made that pick, but that's the situation where Aaron fell, and what are you going to do at that point?
You have to. You got to take him.
Right.
It's Aaron Rodgers.
And you have a quarterback again like Favre, who was hinting at retirement year after year after year.
Yeah.
So you gotta start getting ready.
2005. Is that when Rodgers was drafted? That's when Ted Thompson got here. Okay, got to Green Bay. Okay, good to know. So Ted Thompson has done something good for you guys. So
we got a Super Bowl.
Suck it up. Just like slow down.
We just want him to sign free agents.
Yeah.
the rest of it,
God,
everything else is good.
I don't care who it is. Sign anybody. You draft 20 running backs. You can't sign one single wide receiver. I don't know. Round 5, 171st overall, Nathan Peterman out of Pittsburgh goes to Buffalo. And, of course, Tyrod Taylor there right now. Nathan Peterman going to sit behind possibly Cardale Jones and Tyrod Taylor. It looks to me like one or the other is going to be released by the start of the season. It's either going to be Cardale Jones or Nathan Peterman. I'm assuming it's going to be Cardale Jones, which is stupid to me because they just drafted that guy last year.
Right.
So
he's also kind of in the mold of. I mean, he's bigger and stronger, but he's kind of in the mold of Tyrod. So that
Nathan Peterman or Cardale?
Cardale.
I just love the idea of Cardale Jones because that guy can throw the ball.
Right.
Not accurately, but man, can he throw it. 215th overall, round 6 overall, Brad Kaya, another team that's looking for a replacement quarterback. Matthew Stafford, not as old, but he's getting up there, so another team that needs to think about what they're going to do once the guy retires. And then the last quarterback that was drafted, one that kind of piques my interest, of course, Chad Kelly out of Ole Miss to the Denver Broncos.
/ quarterback Chad Kelly.
Yeah, I'm so glad the Bills didn't draft. This would have been a total homer pick if the Bills drafted him, nephew of Jim Kelly, of course. He could be a little bit of a head case.
Yeah.
And John Elway says he's the future star. If John Elway believes in you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. He's got too much going. He's not good enough to have all that going on.
No, he's not gonna. He's not gonna start for a while. He'll sit behind Trevor Siemian. He's getting a lot of useful information there.
Who's the guy that got last year? Paxton
Lynch. Yeah.
Let's see what he turns out to be.
Go Broncos.
I think they're going to be running the ball next year.
Probably running the ball. Do you think any of these quarterbacks out the back, if you had to choose one of them, is there one quarterback that you think will take the place of the elite status of the NFL? I mean, the one I'll give you mine right away. I think it's Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson, the Houston Texans, he's going to be up there in the elite category, the top 10 quarterbacks in the next 10 years or whatever.
I mean, I'd have to agree with you. That's the only guy I see here that
that has the
that
potential.
I'm comfortable saying, will be.
He's a winner.
Yes, at least.
And he's been a winner.
Right.
It's
At
not
least
like Trubisky where you got 13 starts. We don't know what to get
viable,
for you.
reliable quarterback.
Yeah. I'm glad we agree on something.
I mean, it's hard because it's the draft. Every year the hype machine comes out and all these guys are the best players ever.
It's the quarterbacks.
Right.
I mean, we see quarterbacks get overdrafted. I mean, the Browns drafted Tim Couch, I'm pretty sure first overall too. And then Johnny Manziel, like these guys, I mean, quarterbacks get overdrafted so much because it is a valuable position, but
I mean, how often do you hear
you're
can't
also
miss?
wrong.
I mean,
yeah.
these guys are
Andrew Luck was probably the last can't miss guy.
Right.
And the Colts got rid of Peyton Manning to get him. So, and what have the Colts done? Nothing.
No.
If Tom Brady was in Indianapolis, would they win a Super Bowl?
Not with that line, no.
Yeah, I agree. All right,
or that defense.
Let's flip that. If Andrew Luck was in New England, would he win a Super Bowl? No.
No.
All right.
As much as I dislike Tom Brady, he's a very good quarterback.
He is a very good quarterback. I'm not denying that. I hate Tom Brady. I'm not denying that at all.
And Luck is an athlete. Got a nice arm, but I think that Tom Brady brings more than just his arm to the team. And, I mean, obviously Belichick, and they make all the right moves.
Yeah.
Even though I hate them all, but.
And you hate them all.
I hate every move. I'm like, why would they do?
God.
Never mind, it's a Super Bowl.
Just ridiculous. All right, let's move into our. Let's see if there's anything else I missed really quick. The Jags pick up Bortles' fifth-year option.
Yep.
Sweet. Do you care?
No.
Me either. Okay. Let's move past that. This one actually piques my interest. Jamal Charles being hosted by the Denver Broncos.
Like
So we're just talking about Denver running the ball. That's interesting to me. I would love to see Jamal Charles in a Broncos uniform.
I would love to see Jamal Charles get another chance anywhere. I just feel.
You feel bad.
I feel bad for him.
That.
Yeah, like it's just the guy was so electric and so fast. And the Broncos would be, if he is anything of what he was, they would be a perfect situation for him.
What about the Packers releasing Christian Michael?
I mean, it makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah, I mean,
it's par for the course.
How many times has Christian Michael been released? The guy clearly can't stay on a team.
I don't think he's bad though.
I don't think he's bad either.
I think it's stupid. I mean, how many running backs did the Packers draft this year? 3? Oh
yeah.
my God.
So you have 3 rookie running backs and a converted wide receiver.
Yeah.
That's your backfield. But again, they're not going to run the ball.
Now.
They're not going to run the ball. I mean, they're gonna.
So why draft running backs then? Why are you wasting picks on a position
because
you know
they
you
make
don't
you
need?
fill the position.
Oh
they're all
going to
play special teams.
So dumb. So dumb. I
maybe
hope one
you'll
of
hit
them
on
works
one.
out for you
Yeah,
guys.
maybe you'll hit on one.
It's not like a quarterback where you draft 3 and you're like, well, we'll take our chances. You know what I mean?
Those guys are going to play special teams.
All right. When has special teams ever won somebody a game?
Well, it's lost us a couple games.
One in the playoffs. Wasn't it a playoff game, the onside kick? And, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
You released that guy the next day.
See,
I forget who it was.
Now you know why we're drafting special teams players.
You got to get the guy. You got to get him. Got to get him. Oh, my God. Hilarious. Yes. Okay. Let's talk about the remaining free agents really quick. Colin Kaepernick, Jay Cutler, and Jamal Charles, the 3 guys that I have my eye on. Will any of these start? I think we can all agree Jamal Charles is going to start somewhere.
Yep.
So Colin Kaepernick and Jay Cutler. Naked Jay Cutler and Colin Kaepernick.
I think Cutler will find a place. Kaepernick's going to have to wait for an injury. It's going to
probably
be,
right.
The guy is
as long as he doesn't he's not hanging out with Johnny Manziel in Vegas. when the Raiders moved to Vegas, did they sign Johnny Manziel? Because I feel like for a team in Vegas,
I thought he was going to be the mascot.
To get a guy, I know. To get a guy like Johnny Manziel in Vegas, like that's entertainment right there.
Why not?
I would love to see that.
Who doesn't want to bet on that guy?
Oh my God!
You see what I did there?
I did. Okay. Yes. Money Manziel, baby. Money Manziel. All right, pick 6. Let's talk about the best and worst moves of the draft. I have one of each.
Okay.
I'm going to do my best move right now. Well, I'll start here. The Cleveland Browns. Obviously, they had the best draft.
Yeah.
And it could be very bad. It could look like a total Browns draft in the future, knowing that they had 3 first-round picks, and not really sure what we're getting out of Jabril Peppers or Deshaun Kaiser for that matter. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy for the Browns, man. I'm happy for the Browns. A great fan base, of course. I hate that LeBron came back and won the Cavs a championship, but good for Cleveland. It looks like they had the best draft, and rightfully so. The team who picks first overall, good for them.
I think for me the best, and this is kind of a trio, but for the best for me was the running backs that went early. Leonard Fournette to the Jaguars. I think perfect.
Can we talk about that really quick? I forgot to get into that today. 2 running backs going in the top 10.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Hey,
dude, unbelievable.
I knew it would happen. It's crazy, but I knew it would happen.
You knew.
The hype machine,
I don't
man.
get it. I don't get it. Here's the deal. Running backs are not that valuable. They're not that valuable. You guys go out and draft 3 of them. I mean, 2 of them get drafted in the top 10.
Yeah.
When you got guys like, would you rather have Leonard Fournette or Jabril Peppers?
Well,
I mean, both drafted opposite ends of the first round.
The Jaguars have been
Leonard
drafting
Fournette or
defense
TJ Watt.
and working
You know
on
what I
their
mean?
defense for a while.
I don't know. They obviously needed a running back.
Right.
So
see, I think
trade down and get the same guy. Like, I don't know. I don't see the value in the running back
I think
position.
these 3 guys though went in the perfect teams.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Fournette to the Jaguars, you got McCaffrey to Carolina, which I really like, and Dalvin Cook, unfortunately, to Minnesota. But perfect situation. I mean,
Trevor says Don Beebe, special team superstar. We both can agree on that. He's a super star.
oh yeah, I mean that guy was.
The Beebs.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny when I anytime I go to a Packer game, I always see a Don Beebe jersey. I'm just like,
There's
give
at
him the
least
nod.
one. Yes.
I love it. Yeah. So Trevor says, pick 6 preventer. My bad. I don't know what's going on there. The Bears trading up 1 spot to get Mitchell Trubisky was the worst move I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and that's my pick for the worst move of the draft was the Bears giving up 4 picks to move up 1 spot for a guy San Francisco wasn't even going to draft. San Francisco thought the Bears were going to draft somebody else, which brings me to my wild card. San Francisco might have made the best move of the draft, moving down 1 spot and gaining 4 picks while doing so to draft the same guy that they wanted.
Yeah,
so,
I can't
amazing.
even argue with you. I think that's easily the biggest I don't know about mistake, but misstep of the draft. And if it works out, maybe Mitch will use this as his locker room his encouragement. Let's keep playing this this show over and over.
It's funny because I love moves like this because it just shows the team's poker face.
Right.
You know what I mean? Good for San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
Just Chicago totally played into their cards. Chicago, big city, desperate for a quarterback.
Yeah.
San Francisco knew that. San Francisco does not want a quarterback right now. I mean, they're fine with being at the bottom of the league for another year and getting a guy next year. Next year's got a good class of quarterbacks. So
they've got nothing to lose at this point, and if you can fleece the Bears, why not?
Yeah, fleece the Bears. Do you have anything else you want to hit at before we jump on out of here?
No, I think we'll.
How do you think the Packers did overall? Are you happy with it?
I am happy with it. I think everyone's kind of upset the whole TJ Watt thing, but you got Vince Beagle, so
TJ Watt was still. I mean, the idea of having somebody who may have just a sliver of the talent of JJ Watt, man, you're still getting a great guy, a great athlete.
Right. I mean, but for me, as someone who has complained about having these 5'11" corners or these 5'10" corners that can't cover anyone, that can't even stand next to Julio Jones, I was happy with the King pick. I mean, a bigger corner. He's not slow, but it's a guy that you have to throw over, not a guy that Julio can just plant his feet and hold up his hands.
Exactly. I don't know how I feel about the Bills draft. I really don't. It's a couple picks where you knew you needed to make that selection. So we knew we needed a cornerback, and they got a couple. They got a linebacker. They got the quarterback in the later rounds. So they drafted solid picks, but I'm not sure if any of them were very exciting for me. Moving back, I think the most exciting part of the draft for me was the Bills moving back and getting Kansas City's first-round pick for next year. So we have 2 first-round picks next year. Next year is a great class for quarterbacks. Just saying, there's an opportunity to move up and grab a guy.
That's the thing about moving back, though, is because, of the hype machine and all the TV, you're watching this entire draft waiting for your pick.
And then the Packers move out of the first
and you're
round.
like, seriously, let's watch 2 hours of this so that you guys could just
2 or 3 hours of watching the draft. The Packers move out of the first round last
Tune
minute.
in tomorrow. Yeah,
Unbelievable. Okay. Just hilarious. All right. Yes, I am Tanner Burke, of course. Thank you, everybody, for watching the Pick 6. We'll be back next week, as always. And I'm not sure. We're in the cold spot of the offseason now, so we'll have to come up with some fun ways.
I think we're going to start breaking down each division, see what we can find as far as, what teams added what.
We'll dive deep.
Yeah.
We'll dive deep. Also, I wanted to tell you, my first article for Brew Sports that I'm going to write, it's going to be satirical, and it's going to be...
why wouldn't it be?
I know. It's going to be Where Are They Now? The Backyard Sports. The Backyard Sports edition. So I'm gonna dive in, do some research, figure out what's going on with Pablo Sanchez, what happened to him, Pete Wheeler, what's he doing, So I'm going to dive into that, and we'll see. I think it's safe to say, did you know, most of the backyard sports athletes, at least in baseball, were all caught after the fact, either corked bats, steroids, or domestic abuse or something. It's just ridiculous. So, but yes, I will be doing that.
Is that like the Madden curse?
The backyard baseball curse. They still had Randy Johnson. He's probably the cleanest in there. Yeah. But Anyways, yes, of course. Thank you all for commenting. That's why we're here. We're here for you. Like I said, we're in the cold spot, the NFL off season, but there is always something going on. We're going to keep an eye on all the free agents, and like James said, moving forward, we're going to dive into each division and dig deep and see if we can find something in there to talk about.
Oh, there's plenty to talk about.
Plenty to talk. There's always stuff to talk about. Yeah. At least with us.
Yeah.
Yes. James, where can people find you on social media, my friend?
J Stu Jr. at J Stu Jr. on Instagram or Twitter.
Beautiful. I'm Tanner Burke, of course, at Banner Turk. And feel free to chime in whenever you want. We will be back on later. I'll be on with Baxter Colburn for halftime. And we'll be back next week, and we'll have plenty of fun stuff to talk about then as well. So thank you all for watching. Until then, I'm Tanner Burke, and he's James Stewart. This has been the Pick 6 on Brew Sports.
3, 2, 1.